So one of the big questions that we have, and I'm picking this one because this is probably the number one question that's asked, no matter what. Ever since I've found myself in a position where I can listen to other aspiring independent freelance insurance adjusters at scale, the number one question that I hear, that we hear time and time again in our group and other groups, it's the number one question that's on the minds of everyone. It's how do I find work? How do I find work as an independent insurance adjuster? Or it could just be, how do I find work as an insurance adjuster? Now, as a general insurance adjuster, what I mean by that is just an insurance adjuster that's going to collect a, W-2 salary, maybe company car and all that sort of stuff, which that egg is a whole lot easier to crack than the independent side. That egg's much easier to crack because it's a much smaller pool. It's a much smaller pond to fish out of. Now, if you are looking to find yourself getting a job as a normal insurance adjuster, there are insurance companies out there that will knowingly hire you with no experience. They'd rather hire you with less experience because that would mean that, guess what? They're going to pay you less. They'll do all the training. So you're not going to have any of these bad habits or any of these different habits that you carried over from another job. And they're going to train you the way that they think that you should be trained. And they're going to pay you minimal for it. So it's a lot easier there. You write up a regular BS resume and that's it. Sometimes it doesn't even matter what past experience that you have. Now, the independent side, it's a little bit more tricky than that. So finding work is different than how you would find work if you were looking just for a W-2 job, if you were looking to become an employee for an insurance company. It's different because you are not an employee. You can't look for work like you would as if you were an employee. That's because now you're a business. And the number one mistake that new adjusters make, that new independents make as they enter this industry is that they conduct themselves like an employee. You need to understand, the newbies out there need to understand that if you become an independent insurance adjuster, we need to focus on that first word, the word independent. And the word independent is just a different way. Strangely, we say independent, but it's just a different way of saying freelance. You are a freelance insurance adjuster. Now, if you are a freelance anything, you are a business. You are a single owner, LLC, perhaps. You are your own show. You're not collecting a paycheck, a W-2 paycheck every other week from somebody else. You are the sole provider. You are the top of the food chain. It is up to you to find the work that's needed in order for you to pay your bills. You're running a business. It might not feel that way. It might not feel like a business because you don't have a storefront. You don't have an HR person. You don't even have payroll. You may not even have an LLC. You might not feel like a business person, but you are a business person. And the first step is to begin conducting yourself like a business. Now, how are you going to find work? You find work by finding clients. What are the expectations that you should have from each client? Those can vary. But here's what you shouldn't have. You should not expect each client of yours to give you a never-ending flow of work. It's not going to happen, especially if you're new. Even if you're experienced, it would be negligent for you to expect one of your clients to be the end-all, be-all, and to give you the most amount of money. That's not how businesses work. Put yourself in the shoes of any other company that needs to obtain clients. Imagine if you're a marketing company. How many clients do you think you should have? 1? 2? You should have as many as possible. So how do you get as many clients as possible? That's through your marketing. You need to get in front of these companies. You get in front of them by figuring out who they are. Now this is a big thing because even at my school, Just University, we have a list of all these companies, over 500. independent adjusting companies to market yourself to. You need to have the largest possible Rolodex, network, directory, whatever. You need to know who your customers are. Now, once you figured out who your customers are, you need to figure out what their pain points are. This is marketing 101. You figure out what their pain points are and you figure out what they are looking for. Because once you figure out what is bothering them and you figure out what they need in order for they to succeed in their business, that is how you will be able to tailor your message in a way that is compelling to them. And now, since you know all of the companies or you know a large number of potential clients, now you have your directory, you have everyone that you need to market to. You have a very large collection of people that are potential clients. And now you know how to market yourself. You're going to market yourself based on the needs of those companies. And now you can do that at scale. You can do that at scale because you have the message and you have the list. Now you just need to send that message to your list. And once it gets out there, then you just continue to follow up, follow up, follow up. It sounds simple, but the big mistake that people make, especially when they don't have some sort of entrepreneurial background, some sort of business background, is that they think that all they need to do is just put together a general resume, just explaining all the unrelated bullshit that they've done in their life on a 1-page or super, super condensed 10-page resume and send it off to 1, 2, maybe 3 companies. And then at some point, they're just going to start making the 6 figures that they all heard about. It does not work like that. Could it work like that? Have other people found success in that? Absolutely. But those are unicorns. That's luck. And I've said this time and time again, great businesses are never built on luck. You will never get me to tell anyone that they should base their business on luck. Base your business on odds. What are the odds that you're going to build a successful business while only marketing to 3 separate people or companies compared to 300? What are the odds? Where are the odds in your favor? Obviously, 300. Now, when you market to those 300, maybe you don't get the response that you like. Well, you already had the list, so you didn't do that wrong. Then it comes down to critiquing and finding that message. Maybe you need to add more to that resume. Maybe that resume needs to be more eye-catching. Because remember, there is no shortage of other applicants. There are tons and tons of other applicants that are out there, but you need to stand out. So when your marketing strategy isn't working the way that you like, you don't blame it on the industry. You don't blame it on the other companies. You don't blame it on other people. You blame it on yourself. You need to take full accountability because it is your marketing strategy. And only you hold the key to success in becoming a successful independent insurance adjuster, just like any other business.